All right, we're going to be live in a few minutes. I mean, we are live now. We are live right here on YouTube, but we're going to start our episode in a few minutes here at 5 o'clock. We're going to start a countdown timer like Allison had last week. This is very classy and makes us look very professional and high tech, which we are. We totally are. Don't get me wrong. Screen sharing, multiple participants. Ba-ba-da-da. Love you all, friends and fans. See you at 5. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mythologue, where your cast of lore makers whips you up a fresh, unrehearsed batch of lore every single Monday night. In Dungeons and Dragons, a game master narrates a story, and the players create the action in the story simply by existing and making decisions as their characters. And when the fates must have their say, there's always the dice. Welcome to episode 5, my friends. Our party is in dire straits. having made their way through some of the Feywild, arriving here under mysterious circumstances, transported suddenly and unexplainedly from the material plane in the middle of the bear ceremony outside of Dwera. Suddenly, all of you have arrived in the Feywild. You've stumbled upon and kind of impacted multiple citizens of the Feywild so far. Fights with pixies and bees, accidentally turned a beetle gigantic, hung out with the beetle for a while, convinced them to go on their way when they needed to eat something more, and it might be you. And then making your way deeper into the forest in the Feywild, trying to find somebody that... Oh, shoot. Trying to find somebody that might have a portal to get y'all back to the material plane. I don't want to have that on. The theory is that possibly y'all could make your way into the lair of the Bear King and hopefully, possibly, somehow find a way to convince the Bear King to help you get back to your homes in the material plane. So, getting deeper into the forest, y'all survived an attack by a swarm of incredibly aggressive, large, pink and orange striped bees. Kian got beat up pretty bad during that, but then after getting a long rest in the trees, you all have found yourselves beset, and well, before and after getting your long rest, beset by intense emotional upheaval. Feely remembers childhood folktales of the Bear King, the Bear King's lair, something called the Summer Crag, where within a few miles of it, maybe 5 miles or so, that emotions run high and people tend to get in fights, and what would normally be just friendly gatherings tend to devolve into tussles and scuffles pretty easily. And this has happened. At the moment that we rejoin our heroes, Feely is grappled currently, having full out attacked Finnick, and is grappled by Flame, as I recall. By Kian?
I think so.
Okay, it's grappled by Kian, my bad. I even just watched this morning. I still didn't. Too many things going on in the brain. So yeah, coming to your friend's aid, Kian has wrapped his arms around Feely, pinning Feely's arms to their torso so that they can't continue casting aggressive spells toward Finnick. They're starting to come to their senses. Finnick is mopping the tears off of his face, having been moved for a moment by the loving friendship of his companions, and then suddenly the threat from Feely and a firebolt to boot. So here we are in this moment. Kian, you have Feely pinned. Finnick, you're no longer getting shot by firebolts.
Are you going to stop attacking now?
Probably not, if I'm being honest.
Are you okay, Finnick?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's kind of my fault. I said they were going to kill us. It's a whole thing. Yeah, Finnick's just still like kind of recovering.
These woods are most interesting. I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, Wexler, say it again.
I've never seen anything like this.
Feely, you can go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw. See if you can get a handle on this. And Brian, you can go ahead and actually turn your microphone back up. Once I got my volume adjusted, you ended up quiet.
That's a dirty 20 on my wisdom save.
Okay. You come to your senses. Suddenly this fog clears and you realize you definitely just hurled a firebolt right at Finnick. You did miss. But suddenly he doesn't look like such a disastrous threat to the safety of the party.
Jeez, you know, Kian, I am probably done attacking. I think I'm very sorry, Finnick. You're a bit weepy, but I don't think it's a problem. Probably.
Yeah, I think it's this place, right? It's the thing.
Most likely. It's also okay to just be in tune with your emotions. Like,
Thank you.
You can admit.
Ian will like slowly release Feely at this point. He's kind of convinced.
Astara peeks out from behind Flame at this moment and kind of like still holding on to Flame's tail and sort of keeping it tucked around her. She's like, you can see that she's got a few tears. She says, Feely, why did you cast a spell at Finnick?
I wasn't being very nice. I was kind of tempted by the area to not be feeling very nice, and I don't hit very well, but I did want to hit him, so I cast a spell.
Oh.
But it was definitely rude, and I shouldn't have done it. So.
Okay. I'm not feeling anything weird. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It's a good word, though.
Well, is everyone else feeling weird?
Not currently.
I feel
Not
okay.
though.
Well, I feel fine.
Okay. Well, I guess if we just keep an eye on each other. She looks really scared. This is the first time you've seen her look really scared.
Don't suppose they said anything about this sort of mind games when you learned about the bear cave.
No, not the bear cave by my home.
Epiphany will just offer her hand.
Okay. She takes it. She looks a little bit mildly comforted. She doesn't let go of Flame's tail, though. She still kind of holds on to it like a whoopee. And what, Wex?
Did the druids give you anything by chance before the ceremony?
What do you mean?
Well, if the magics out here aren't working, it would stand to reason that maybe they've protected you from it previously.
I don't think so. Nobody said anything about that. I pay very close attention in all of my lessons.
I believe you.
And
You seem to be very attentive.
I didn't talk to very many druids before the ceremony. They were all very busy.
Just a hypothesis. I don't know if it's true at all.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe should we be getting going? I don't know if it gets worse if you stop. Or
Yeah, let's go.
is it going to get worse if we go?
Nobody really knows. We just have to keep moving and try to take care of each other.
No, I'm not gonna really be lying to you. Yeah, I respect you a little too much for that, Stara, but it is gonna get worse.
Okay.
Just the closer we get to it, to the Summer Crag, the Bear King's lair, it's gonna get a little harder to resist.
Okay. I hope it keeps staying off of me.
I'm sure it will. I think you're a bit too nice for it to be bothering you. Just keep saying nice things to everyone, and I think maybe that will help us.
But you're all really nice too. I mean, except for you sometimes.
No, yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, okay. So she kind of hikes up her backpack and gets herself back in her like fortitude stance that you're used to. She starts to kind of like shake off that look of panic and fear that she had on her face, and kind of looks expectantly at Finnick, who has normally been heading up the front of the posse with, I want to say Epiphany? Yeah. Are y'all going to stay in that order? Finnick, Epiphany, or Finnick and Epiphany kind of together co-navigating, and then, what was it? Kian?
And Feely, Wex, and then Flame in the back.
And
Flame, were you in front of me?
No, I think I was in the back initially, but I can stick with Astara if she's still holding on to my tail.
She's okay with being in the back too, so you all take up the rear. She tends to look over her shoulder quite a bit as you all are walking. And you continue moving through the forest. It's still, thickening. The undergrowth is getting higher and higher, to the point to where, while you can still see that the trunks of the trees are, dispersed about the same distance apart as they have been, they're larger now, larger and larger trees, almost getting into what looks like old growth type of rainforest, or like redwood forest, more like. But in between, instead of having like empty space around them, what you see is just this thickening bramble of many, many vines and bushes and shrubs, all, deeply entangled with each other, and thorns encroaching into the path. But also, as you go, the path becomes increasingly well-worn. The many footprints of bear and wolf are still there. The goat-like footprints, the cloven hoof footprints that y'all had seen, have disappeared a while back. But as you're moving on, Finnick and Epiphany, the trail is not that challenging to follow, but I'm going to have y'all roll a survival check, just to kind of keep the group steering correctly and clear of the brambles.
I got a 7.
Zoinks.
Those 7s are persistent in this game. I got a 17.
Nat has a 7 in it also. Okay, as Finnick stands there sort of shaking his configuration device and becoming increasingly a little bit, frustrated and irritated with it, as it isn't doing the thing that it was doing before, where you were getting this like visual in your goggles of the lines of the topography and everything. It was really cool. That's not happening for you now. And but Epiphany, you can easily see where the path cuts through the brambles, and you also are able to kind of get a good clear way of staying clear of the brambles. You pick up a long stick off of the ground, and you're able to move the thorns aside as you're walking past them, because they do encroach a little bit into the path. And if, as it would seem, bears are using this a lot, that would make sense as to why it doesn't bother them. Epiphany, also on the way, you find another few little scraps of fine cloth that look to have just been maybe torn off of the bear's garments as they were traveling. Having spotted a couple of bears in fancy outfits during one of your rest periods, I think the one before last, or anyway, during one of your watches, it doesn't seem that far-fetched now that there are bear clothes getting stuck to the thorns in the forest. But as you do go, Finnick, this is getting really frustrating with your configuration not working correctly like it just was yesterday. So I'm going to have you roll a Constitution saving throw.
And Epiphany will show him some of the cloth and be like pat his shoulder and say, "It's okay, look, we're going the right way. Fancy bear clothes."
Those do look fancy. Yo, I failed. There's no way I didn't fail.
Okay, yeah. All right. Finnick. Growling deep in your throat with rage, you can just feel this well of intense frustration welling up in you like you're trapped in it or something. Tapping your configuration harder and harder against your palm. You shake it, you open it up, you twiddle with a couple of things, you close it again, it still isn't working right. Go ahead and roll a wisdom save for me, and we're going to see if you do anything bad.
Don't let me do anything.
What was the roll?
Says
Yeah, don't let me roll for it.
5. If you roll 4 next, we should just not have you do anything else the rest of this. Like we wrap.
Yeah.
You all watch as Finnick tears the wrapping off of his hand and throws his configuration against a tree.
Just like Black Ops player, just frustrated. like White Boy Summer, I am angry. Like,
so mad. Yeah, so roll to hit, Finnick.
Oh no! Wait. Roll what to hit?
It's a D20. It's an improvised weapon. Technically, it would be with your dexterity modifier as a ranged attack, but not with your proficiency.
Natural 1.
Okay. Rather than throwing it into he throws it towards a tree. It does not hit the tree and shatter, thankfully, but it instead is buried deep in the brambles.
Epiphany is like, "Hey, friends, remember, this is the crabbiness. Don't upset the environment. Just try to take some deep breaths."
Okay, wheeling around, you see Epiphany talking calmly to you. You can go ahead and attempt that wisdom saving throw again. You're still enraged, but let's see if you can keep it under control.
16.
Okay. Looking at Epiphany, you're like, okay, it's not her. It's not her. It's not her. You know that it's not her, and you don't need to attack her, but the rage has not disappeared. You're not in attack mode, but the rage has not disappeared. At this moment, a star kind of stops and looks and, kind of tugs on Flame's tail. Flame, he threw his machine. I think it's the thing happening.
Flame says, I think you're right, child, but I think it will be okay.
Can Epiphany use her quarterstaff to look for the device?
Sure, you're gonna poke around there and
Yeah.
oh yeah, you have a quarterstaff. You don't need to pick up a stick off the ground. But Astara, taking the lead from you, does pick up a stick off the ground to move Bramble around. You can go ahead and roll a perception or investigation check, Epiphany, to try to find Finnick's configuration. Is anybody gonna help?
Yeah, I think Feely would cast their mage hand and also be trying to move stuff and try and grab whatever looks mechanical.
Okay.
And I'll help with guidance at least.
Oh,
I'll-
all right.
I'll
So what
give
does that
a rousing speech saying, Epiphany, I'm sure you can find Finnick's device.
That's the kind of support I need in life.
Okay, so everyone comes together. Feely's mage hand comes out from that sigil, that rune that you draw in the air, and whoosh, this hand comes out into the brambles and starts pushing them aside, cooperating with your quarterstaff. A star gets up in there. So you're going to be rolling with advantage, Epiphany, perception or investigation.
I did investigation because I have proficiency, and that's another 17.
And then you also get a bonus to that for guidance, which is going to be a D6?
Wait.
D4.
D4, okay.
Oh, and I need to like, or Flame needs to like lash Epiphany with his tail or something, because it is a touch spell. I just realized too. for clarity's sake. Not just a rousing speech. That's bardic inspiration.
So that's an unclean 20.
Unclean 20.
Unclean 20.
Okay. Let's see how hard this little mofo is to find. You got it.
Yay.
You got it.
Look, here it is.
Is Finnick still pissed off at it, or?
You're still super pissed off at it. You see it come out of the bushes. Go ahead and repeat your con save. Let's see how you're doing.
And meanwhile, Kian hasn't been looking for the configuration. He's just trying to keep an eye on Finnick to make sure that he is simmering down. So.
Okay.
Oh, and these are con saves, not straight Constitution rolls.
Right. This isn't a con check. It's definitely a save. There's a con save to see what your feelings do, and then there's a wisdom save to see if you can control it or not. Okay, so yeah, you're still so pissed off at that thing, you don't even want to look at it.
Yeah, he's just like, no, I'm sick of it, not working. Put it back. Thanks for.
I'll just put it in my backpack. You may want it later.
It's only going to bring you trouble, but yeah, fine.
Okay.
Okay, everybody who wants to roll a perception check.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm
You
temporarily
should probably
blind,
roll with
apparently.
disadvantage, though, Finnick. Oh, damn.
Yeah, 7. I rolled 7.
You rolled the 7 this time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
At a 19.
I have an 18.
19 was my lower.
Flame, I think somebody's maybe pulling on your tail.
Yeah.
Can't see what's happening. Okay, yeah, Flame, you're pretty sure that the party got turned around and is going the wrong way on this path at this point. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I think we're lost. I think we're going the wrong way.
No, we're not. It's okay. I found some more bear clothes on the path.
Okay.
As you two are arguing with each other, as Flame is, kind of his projecting, booming voice, everyone else, you hear thudding footfalls, almost like hooves coming from the path behind you. Some kind of through. You can hear the undergrowth rustling a little bit, and you can hear these hoof beats. They sound like they're a couple 100 feet away, maybe still.
Do they seem like they're approaching us, or like staying pretty steadily?
Let's see. Kian is
I got
asking.
16.
You got a 16. It sounds like they're probably approaching. Finnick, though, and Epiphany, you can definitely tell that they're for sure approaching.
Someone's coming. Do you guys hear that?
Nope, not at all. What, are you okay? Are you affected by the thing?
We need to hide.
I don't think so, but there's definitely someone coming.
There's no time to talk about this. We need to be hiding.
Time to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hide. I'm hiding. Okay, let's hide, Flame.
All right.
Finnick, roll a wisdom saving throw, and we'll see how well you take these instructions in your state of rage.
14.
A 14?
Yeah.
You're barely holding it together, but you're like willing. You can hear that someone is coming, and as much as you would like to just probably kill them when they get here, it does make sense to hide. So everybody, go ahead and roll a stealth check if hiding is what you're doing. Does anyone have a different agenda?
Feely, right before hiding, is going to cast Fog Cloud. And so that is just a quick glyph and then a movement of the hands over it, and like this misty fog spreads out in a 20-foot radius, kind of closest to us, but a little bit in between us and the hoofbeats.
Okay, all right, cool. We'll say this will give everyone an advantage on their stealth check.
I got an unclean 20.
14. Twice.
Somebody got an actual 20.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
Wow.
woohoo!
Nice.
We got a 14.
Bree, post seeing my roll, do I have an opportunity to take an action, or is this it?
Kian, what did you get for stealth?
I got an 8. If I have time, I'd like to just wild shape into something. But
Yes. Yeah, wild shape is a bonus action, right? You totally have time.
I'm not a circle of the moon, so it is a whole action for me, but
Okay, well, like I said, they were probably a couple 100 feet away.
Okay.
So you've probably got time. Casting about for a place to hide. All you're finding is really long, sharp thorns. It looks like, other people have been grabbing the good spots and you're struggling. So, Finnick and Flame disappear into the bushes, like as if just by magic. Feely, it's stressful, You're not obviously the biggest fan of brambles, and it's really, really messing up your clothes. What was left of this beautiful outfit is getting completely and totally shredded. It really sucks, and it hurts. It's pokey and it's annoying, but you find your way into a hiding spot, and you get in. Epiphany, what are you rolling for stealth?
I had a 20, unclean 20.
Oh yeah, that's right, unclean. Your skin is a little bit tougher than most, thanks to your infernal heritage, and you kind of like slide through the brambles without as much trouble as your average humanoid might have. Plus your nice leather armor and stuff like that. You kind of can use your quarterstaff and your horns, slipping in. Kian, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna turn into a spider, a little guy.
None of you have ever seen this happen before. So what does that look like, Kian?
Oh, what a good question. Does Kian even know? I think he just starts to panic, and you see it in his eyes, and then suddenly spreading from these like wide panicked eyes, you see like more eyes appearing on the side of his head, and as you're registering what's happening, he just compresses until you like basically can't see him on the ground anymore. He's like tiny now, and he's just gonna skitter away.
All right. You all hear these approaching hoofbeats. There's several pairs of them. They sound determined and purposeful. They come closer very quickly. It's stressful. It's pretty frightening. Peering out of the bushes, you see shapes of pure white fur standing 6 to 7.5 feet tall. You see goat horns and beards and snouts, but you see fully upright humanoid forms walking on 2 legs, completely covered in pure white fur, are a family of gruff. You think that they're just about to run past you, ostensibly into the Bear King's lair. But as they arrive just in the path right where you all stop to hide, they come clean through your fog cloud and stop. And you hear, "You can't fool us. Come on out now. You're where you don't belong."
Epiphany takes a deep breath and pops out of the bush.
Okay, when you do, you see this family of goat creatures. You see 3 really big tall ones and 2 that are smaller. 2? Let me make sure. 2 that are smaller.
Epiphany says, "Hi, I'm Epiphany, and you really startled me, and I'm a little bit lost. I was at this big festival and somehow ended up here, and now I'm just trying to find my way. Do you know how to get out of here?"
Indeed. And you'd best come with us now. You're not safe here.
Oh, okay.
I'm Ardwin.
Ardwin?
Ardwin. And this is my wife, Elia. Elia nods her head. She says, "This is my brother."
Hello, hi. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
The brother nods his head and extends his hand. He says, "I'm Eldwin."
Hello. Pleasure to meet you. And she shakes his hand. So where are you going?
All of a sudden, you see one of the smaller ones says, "What about us? What about us?"
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Epiphany. Hello.
"I'm Eloise."
Hello, Eloise. And
The other
you
one
are?
says, the other one just says, "I'm Henry." Eloise
Hello.
shouldn't.
Hi, Henry. Well, you guys do seem really nice, but things they're not always what they seem to be here. Do you guys live here?
Elia looks at you. She says, "We live not far away, but we're traveling also, and you really aren't safe here. So you should come with us now. Right now."
Okay, where are you going to take me?
"All of you."
Oh, yes. Yeah. Right. Where would you take us?
we've got a path a little ways back. What's going to take us out of the Bear King's area?
Oh, well, that may be a problem. We actually need to talk to the Bear King.
That's as it may be, but you're not prepared.
Oh, right. Yeah. We kind of are just a little bit winging it here. That is true.
That is obvious.
Yes. Okay. Well, it seems that our cover's blown. Hey guys, come on out. I think we're safe here with these fine people.
Come on now.
I'll move out of the bushes that I was not hiding very well in. Like I was just like, I struck a frozen pose in the bushes and just thought that was going to work somehow. Relax and like come out into the road.
Eloise jumps up and down. She goes, "Oh, look at that one. It's so cute." Henry's like, "Shut up. Nobody wants to hear that they're cute."
Oh, well, he is. Yeah, it's true.
I thought it was delightful.
Okay.
Whatever it is that you are.
Whatever we are.
I'm not sure. I've never met your kind. I've never even heard of you before.
We're gruff.
Yeah, so forgive us. We're very clearly not from here.
We're an ancient and widely respected race in Feywild.
Yeah, this is my first time in the Feywild, and I really appreciate making your acquaintance and would very much appreciate your help.
Roll a charisma check, Epiphany.
Okay.
Are the rest of you coming out of the bushes as well?
That's another unclean 20.
Dang, you're all about the dirties tonight.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Do any of the gruffs seem like anyone I might like that Feely might rather avoid? Like, did I recognize any of the name? Are they wearing anything that might
roll an insight check.
Okay. That's a 10.
You don't recognize any of them. You didn't recognize any of their names.
Then yeah, I think Feely would be coming out.
Yeah, Finnick will come out. He's probably still kind of like kicking dirt, being annoying.
Flame will come out as everyone starts to pop up.
Kian's coming out, but he's staying a spider, and he's just gonna like crawl onto Feely's foot and be like, "This is where I live now."
Okay, Astara too, but she's still kind of wrapped up in Flame's tail and hanging just as close to Epiphany as possible while holding on to Flame's tail. Eloise also comments on the cuteness of Astara when she comes out of the bushes. Ardwin gestures back the way that you all came and says, "You need to come with us now. You're all coming along, right?"
If you are willing to help us prepare to meet the Bear King, then yeah, I think we don't really have any better options right now, and we should definitely trust you, kind locals.
We don't have a lot of time, but you all were making such a ruckus. We had to investigate. It turned out you were in trouble.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right, so y'all head back on the path following these gruff. They keep up a super fast clip, just really, really quick. At one point, there's another brief swarm of bees, and the Eloise, one of the little gruff, stops and does a whoosh spray with her hand and just disperses all the bees. They do have hands, by the way. They have like humanoid fingers, but they only have 3 of them. And And a little ways back, there's a very easy to miss offshoot path that they take. They take you along it, and soon the forest starts to thin out as you all travel for about 45 minutes, during which you hear Henry say to Eldwin, the uncle, he says, "Aren't we losing valuable time? Eldwin, Uncle Eldwin, what's going to happen? Do you think we'll find her?" Eldwin says, "It's going to be okay, Henry. We have to do our duty and help people when we need to." And Henry drops it and leaves it at that. As you all make your way to a small wooden and thatched, modest but really cute little cottage. This seems to be the home of the Gruff. They take you with them inside of their cottage, and it's a little bit larger than a normal human or elven house. It makes sense because the adults of this species are between 6.5 and 7.5 feet tall. So they're really quite large and intimidating. Upon arrival, they enter the home. The home looks as if it's been cleaned up and everything put away, like they were going to be gone for a long time. But they bring you in and offer you seats around the small dining table that they have in their kitchen. And Henry comes up and he says, "Do you want any tea or anything?"
Oh, I would love something to drink if it's not too much trouble. I really love your home. It reminds me of my home. Beautiful craftsmanship.
"Oh, yeah. Dad and Mom and Uncle Eldwin and Aunt Arisa made it."
It's just beautiful. Thank you so much for helping us. It sounds like we're inconveniencing you a bit. Were you on a journey of your own?
Yeah, but I guess if Uncle Eldwin thinks it can wait, then it can wait.
Well, we're really grateful. Thank you so much.
Ardwin puts on some tea water as Elia pulls up a chair and gestures for Eloise to bring a chair from the other room. Henry starts getting out tea, and Eldwin also pulls up a chair and sits down next to his sister-in-law. And they kind of look at all of you with sort of a somber face, or what looks to be a serious face, at least as far as you can tell on a goat. And Elia looks and kind of looks around at each of you and lands ultimately on Feely and says, "What could have possibly moved you to want to go see the Bear King?"
Well, the truth be told, we have this little one here. Her name's Astara, and over on the material plane, she's supposed to be doing this whole ceremony with a bunch of bears and go sit in front of a bear cave, and if she lives, she becomes a druid. It's truly a fascinating ritual that they do over on the material plane that I don't quite understand yet. But all of a sudden we were here in the Feywild, and just thought maybe she was supposed to be completing her mission on this side. And the only big important bear I could think of is the Bear King. And I know it was a little foolish, but
foolish indeed. Oh my. Oh my. Like as if it was bears, like the bears of the material plane. You understand, don't you, that it is not the same kind of bears?
No, I do, and I really would have rather had any alternative, but we don't know how to get home.
Eldwin leans forward and he says, Elia, the truth is, the Bear King has the only portal around here. So if they are to get home, they're going to have to talk to him. Henry and Ardwin at this point bring you all steaming cups of tea. There are little tea balls inside of each one. Do you drink them?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sipping your tea, you feel an instantaneous sense of well-being. And any of your little scratches and itches and aches and stuff that you've gotten while you were traveling the path are just feel less crappy. You just start to feel really a lot less bad. Finnick, your feelings of anger ever since getting here to the cottage have really melted away. Really since getting further away from the Bear King's lair. But you just feel completely recovered from the like trauma of feeling that intensely mad. You realize that your hand feels really naked.
Yeah, Finnick would ask Epiphany, sorry about earlier. I think I got affected by this place again. Thanks for holding on to that. Any chance I could get it back? He's just holding his hand that looks...
Oh, of course. I knew you'd want it back. And she gets it out and hands it to him and says, I really hope it's not too badly broken.
Yeah, me too. Well, doubt it could get much worse, though. No go back to trying to work on it.
Henry is captivated. He stops in as he like sets your tea down and you've got your configuration back. He says, can I see it?
Yeah, sure. And
he takes it from you and he holds it in his hand for a second and he flips it over and make an insight check.
unclean.
Okay. You realize as he flips it over and he's looking at it with the eye of somebody that knows a little bit about what he's looking at. He flips it over and he goes like he's just going to pop it open and then he stops himself and he looks at you. He says, "May I?"
I take it you've seen one of these before, or at least something like it.
No, not this. Nothing like this.
Oh.
But I want to see. I won't hurt it. I promise.
Sure. My buddy Wex is pretty good with these too.
Great.
I'll pull out my tinker's tools and start trying to make a couple little clockwork things for the kids.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Henry opens the back of your configuration and reaches in and he starts to adjust something that it hadn't actually occurred to you to adjust before. And he makes a few small turns on a certain gear and then pushes down hard with his thumb to snuggle that gear up a little bit closer to the gear next to it. Snaps it shut, gives it a little shake and hands it back to you. Seems to be working perfectly.
Wow. Yeah, Finnick ask, well, if you've never seen one of these, can I ask why you're so inclined? Do you have a lot of clockwork in the Feywild?
I tinker with things sometimes. Just little stuff by myself.
Well, you're really talented. And the other plane could use someone like you. Maybe you should talk to Wex sometimes. Okay, he might be able to show you a thing or two.
It's not safe for us there. We're not like Feely. This one can go, but we're too fey, so we have to stay. We can go, but it's dangerous for us there. There's a lot of iron and things in the mortal realm that
Oh, well, I didn't realize that. First time here. Finnick's going to take some notes also, just based on what he's saying.
Wex says you're making your clockwork, a couple of clockwork toys. Roll a quick insight check or history.
That's almost certainly not going to work.
Oh,
8, not a 7.
all right. Tell me what materials you're using.
Just some of the small gears and little bits of like pliable metal that I would have. Just
What are they made of?
you
What
know,
kind? What metal are they made of?
I would guess iron or an alloy.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll with your Tinker's tools to complete clockwork toy. Are you making 1, 2? Does it takes you an
There's
hour
2
to make
kids,
one, right?
right?
Right. But does it take you an hour to make one?
I believe so.
Okay. Probably won't be here for that long,
Okay.
but maybe. Never know. But you do get 1 completed, so go ahead and roll for that one.
Oh my gosh, 8.
All right. Wex, you make this little, it looks kind of, I mean, the best that you can do with what you have on hand. If you had your stuff from your cart, you'd be able to make the most perfectly exquisite things. But what you have on hand, you make something that kind of looks like a clockwork lump, like a pet rock that could just kind of like dunk, dunk. It's like a clockwork slug, maybe. But you do get it done and you wind it up and it's like, dunk, 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 dunk. It, you know, it's a little interesting. It kind of has a bit of a revolting sort of a meal vibe about it. But you do finish it. Which child do you hand it to? Or do you hand it to them?
I hadn't thought that part out. I'll give it to the little girl.
She is smaller. Okay.
She's probably closer to my size.
Yeah, definitely. She's the only one that's even anywhere close to your size. She's
Sure.
more like, you know, she's kind of close to like Finnick's size or a little bit shorter, a little shorter than Finnick. You go to hand it to her, and as you do, Eldwin actually reaches across the table and knocks it out of your hand.
Well, I mean, it's just like a shitty lump that slinks along the ground, but I was trying to be nice.
He leans in with a little bit of anger. He says, "You truly know nothing, do you? That's iron. That will burn her. We're Fae. Cannot touch iron."
Oh, my bad. I had no idea.
See? He looks at Alaya and she's like, "I know. You all are really in danger. We're very worried about you. We fear that you might die if you go see the Bear King. Especially the littler ones. They are bears. They will eat small creatures."
So is there another way home that you know of?
Ardwin, having finished making the tea and dropping it off, he sits down with his own cup in front of you. He leans forward and he says, I am afraid not.
So
The next nearest portal that we know of is very far away. However, we probably could offer you a remedy for the emotional effects of the region that you're all experiencing.
well, that would be amazing. This tea is lovely, by the way. Thank you. I'm feeling much better. Does the Bear King, is there anything, some offering we could take to help ease our path to the portal?
That is precisely what you should do. If you could kill an animal and bring a fresh kill, that would be the most appropriate.
Epiphany will go, oh, that's not really my forte. And she'll kind of look around at the group.
Ardwin looks at everyone. Not
I'm a
one of you.
vegetarian.
Oh,
Not one of you can kill animals.
okay, so at some point in the past hour, Kian, I guess, is turned back into an elf, because that's only how long he can stay a spider, so I don't know how, but he's,
Okay, so I say like right about now. You guys have been, you travel, you've been sitting there for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, Kian, your thing wears off. Boom, and you just like pop into existence next to the table.
Kian, did you say that you had climbed onto Feely for the walk?
Yeah.
Did you move away from me?
I might be standing on your foot right now.
I'm going to have you roll an insight check and see if you realized how close you were to your time or if you were just sort of listening in fascination.
Okay. Insight. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Okay, so you do realize in time and that this is your time is just about up, and you don't have time to get all the way out of the house, but you do have time to get off of Feely's foot and out from under the table. And you suddenly pop into existence, deeply startling everyone at the table. Ardwin and Elia and Henry, who are all there at the table with you, are like, ah! Eldwin and Eloise, who have gone off to kind of play with the, or not to play with the clockwork, but Eldwin has picked it up with a stick to bring it over to Wex. Anyway, everyone kind of just like, ah! And stops what they're doing. Ardwin looks and says, who are you?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Just, I don't know, trying something new. The name's Kian. And, yeah, if I could get some of the tea, it sounds really good.
Aye, mortals.
Oh, sorry.
You've got to learn how to do that magic. That is so much fun. Do you ever do it at parties just to get a start out of people?
What's a party?
I have so much to teach you.
Apparently.
Fair festival, only things right.
Wait, like the Bear Festival only what?
Things go right.
Oh, like the Bear Festival only things go right. I love that.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that sounds lovely. But back to the topic at hand, I certainly know how to get wildlife at the end of my weapon, if you know what I mean. So if that's something we're in need of, I can definitely take care of that. It won't
Oh, thank goodness. You wouldn't have had a chance without a fresh kill. Elia looks at you and she says, the other thing is you've got to play it along. whatever he wants to do, just play along. But the Fae are bound by their word. So if he makes a deal with you, he has to see it through.
What sort of things is he generally bargaining for?
Eldwin at this point speaks up and he says, well, what he likes best is games.
I like games.
He likes to toy. He likes to toy with folk.
Not sure I like those sorts of games, but I'm certainly willing to give it a try.
He'll probably be very tricky and mess with you much as possible. You're just going to want to play along much as he can. Try to stroke his ego. You know what I mean? It really is.
And
it's the way to his heart.
I mean, believe it or not, this is actually a very intelligent group of people. So I think maybe given the right chance, we can probably stand up to the Bear King. So truly the advice about the game and the heads up is very helpful.
Indeed. And I've got an ointment that we use when we need to go that way so that we don't get upset. Because you can't have Gruff upset. We're very powerful.
Yeah, I believe it. How do you go
and
about getting this ointment? Something you have extra of, maybe?
I'll give you a jar. Just promise me that you'll keep this little one safe. I've heard the Bear King has a thing about he wants a pet little girl.
The Bear King sounds horrible.
Perhaps it's best we just
He's a bear and a king.
Touche.
Eldwin looks at you all again and says, aye, but he does have a portal.
that's what we need.
Flame asks, and you said that it's too far to the other portal. It's not reasonable to go there.
The next one we know about is many, something like 100, 200. We travel it quickly with our hooves, but you all have no hooves.
are there creatures that serve as mounts around here? Horses, donkeys, the like.
Indeed. However, not close by. We are not near a city. Besides the Summer Crag, that's a city of sorts.
Sounds like this might be our only option.
But we must find our vengeance upon the one who killed my wife.
Oh,
Good luck with that. Would you like some poison?
Eldwin and Ardwin exchange looks. Elia, distracted by the children for a moment, doesn't seem to have heard you. Ardwin leans over. Later.
Sounds good.
So you all finish your tea as Eldwin stands up and begins to let the children know that it's going to be time to go. Elia goes and gets you all a jar of this ointment. She says, put a little of it on your chest and hours. You have enough here for you each to use it twice. So you need to get in and out quick. We'll put some on you before you go. What?
We appreciate your help so much. Thank you. We would have been in big trouble had we not met you.
Henry hears you say this and he says, yeah. Say it again, Wex.
Eventually, one of us definitely would have hurt the other one pretty badly.
Henry looks at you all and says, yeah, you were all gonna die.
Fennec will thank Henry specifically, like, hey, thanks. I don't know how much it'll help, but he'll go ahead and cast Goodberry and just like onto the table just for them, like, thanks for the tea.
Elias stands up. She says, you're welcome. Thank you. What do you have to roll? You have to roll something, don't you, Fennec?
All right. Well, just to make sure if it ends up in the...
To see if your good berries show up in your dispenser.
Yeah, they show up in the dispenser. So, and then he'll just, I don't know, find like wherever the fruit bowl on the table or whatever. Leave them there for them.
Great. Eldwin looks, he says, oh, this is good magic. Thank you. Elia, we should save these for the road. We're going to be traveling a long time. We have a dragon to kill.
A dragon?
No.
Indeed.
That's ambitious.
But perhaps we'll see you all again sometime. At this point, Elia comes with their jar of ointment and smears a little bit on each of your chest, just sort of like right at the top. It's very soothing, and you feel a sense of coolness come into sort of like the middle of your chest, just a coolness, like you got a nice drink of water or something like that. And it just feels very, very calm, and you understand why this stuff works the way that it does. You can definitely feel that you can keep your emotions together. At this point, we're going to take a break. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the internet. Being Skippy, I'm going to see if I can do some troubleshooting on the break. Allison, if you want to put up that fancy slide for a 15-minute break, that would be fantastic.
Can do.
In the meantime, I should mention that everyone should hit us up and follow us at Mythologue DND on Twitter and Instagram. And find us on Facebook, The Mythologue, here on YouTube, The Mythologue, and click subscribe. Pretty soon and Patreon. We have patreon.com/themythologue, all one word. We are about to start doing weekly recaps of the episode on Patreon. So if you want access to a 10 to 15 minute recap of each episode the day after it happens, you can subscribe at any level and you will have access to that stream where you can get that content and catch up on episodes that you've missed without dedicating the whole 3 hours if you don't fully have it and you want to stay caught up. So thank you all so much for being here with us, and we'll see you in 15 minutes.
So we might be a couple more minutes for the people on the stream. We're continuing to resolve the web issues, but we have high hopes that it will be better in our second half. In the meantime, enjoy this video of us waiting. No, that's a better idea. Okay, stop my video.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, we have our internet skips and stumbles resolved. Allison, thank you so much for handling that. Really appreciate it. We all come together as a party, right? And so, as the gruff, the goat people, seem to be getting really ready to get going. They begin, getting you all ushered out of their house. They've swiped a little of this ointment on each of your upper chest and given you all a very cool feeling inside. From their cottage, there are several trailheads emanating out, and they let you know that they're going to be taking a different one as they go and hunt down the dragon that killed Eldwin's wife. They're on this mission, and after that, they don't really have an agenda once that's completed. They just require vengeance. Eldwin's had a great loss, and so as a family, this is what Gruff do. They come together for each other, same as us. And so they head off on a different trailhead from their property, pointing you all back the way that you had come here, into the deep, dark, thickening forest toward the Summer Crag and the Bear King's lair, only this time armed with some information and a little bit of protection from the effects of the region.
Nick will ask
So
before we
as
leave.
you all advance.
Finnick would like to ask before we leave. He'll just show them the map he has. Like, it seems like you know this place pretty well, and you mentioned another portal. Any chance you could mark at least the direction of it and maybe where you all are headed?
Certainly, no problem. That's Eldwin. He takes your map and he looks and he makes a couple of corrections for you. Shows you a couple of places where you didn't quite have it right. And then he says, oh, but to scale, to show you where the other nearest portal is, I'd have to have it's off this page.
Yeah, even just a direction, and I can write an estimate for how far you think it is.
Certainly. And we're headed over here north. And so he goes ahead and makes a few. Oh, Wex, you are muted.
While that exchange is happening, I want to, like, as subtly as I can, like, get one of the vials in my hand of poison that they said that they did want, and, like, be pointing at something on the map so it's kind of incognito, but, like, try to hand it off to him.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand check, Wex.
13.
Okay, you guys fumble through an exchange. You slide it pretty nicely into Eldwin's hand, but he's got a 3-fingered hand that wasn't expecting that, and he kind of fumbles it a little bit. And you can tell that deception isn't really his strong suit. He looks surreptitiously over his shoulder at his sister-in-law several times while, like, really drawing attention to the fact that he's doing something that she wouldn't approve of. But he slips the vial into his belt pouch, and with great gratitude, he nods at you and continues to make some markings on your map, Finnick. He marks off toward the northwest which direction they're going, or I'm sorry, the northeast, which direction they are going to find this dragon. And that, you know, if they do return, which he fully expects they probably will, that, you know, they might come and check and see if you all have made it out, if they can find you somehow. And shows you that the other nearest portal is actually, you all are headed toward the northwest, and have been the majority of this time. The next nearest portal is actually straight south from the location that you had originally landed at. And it's pretty far straight south. It's about 100 miles straight south as far as he knows. But gauging distances is also not really a big strong suit of any of theirs. You don't know if it's a gruff thing or if it's this family or what. They're like 100 or 200 miles, or I don't know, maybe it'll take 20 minutes or an hour to get there. Like, they're very, they just run fast until they get there. You know, they're goats. So, but he can definitely point that it's further than what is shown on your map. And that portal, that portal is actually in the keeping of a bog hag, whose name is unknown and whose demands are very high.
Right. He'll say, well, you're sure about calling that dragon, huh?
Indeed. It's the entire purpose of my life right now.
All right. Well, thanks for the help, and wish you luck.
You're welcome. And we do the same for anyone, and that's the real truth. We're bound by duty and honor.
Do you guys have enough people in your party to kill the dragon?
Oh, indeed, we do. The kids are actually quite powerful, and so are we.
Oh, I have no doubt. I just would hate for you anything bad to happen to you. Do you guys feel like you need help?
Well, how about this? Because we don't need help as much as you do. No
Of
offense
course
intended.
not. No, of course, yeah.
So, if you don't make it out and you live, come back here. And if we can't kill the dragon and we live, we'll meet you here.
Okay, that sounds like a good deal.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that for any of us.
We probably won't see you again. But hoping we don't, and I'd love it if we did. You all seem like fine folk. We haven't seen mortals for a while here. Anyway, got to be moving on. They clip clop away along their path. They immediately beat feet. They're going pretty fast. Having pointed you guys down the path back to the main trail toward the Bear King's lair, they've now disappeared. What are y'all doing?
Bree, can I quickly ask? I did not
Yes.
hear. How long is this chest cream last for?
Oh, 2 hours.
2? Okay.
So you all have 2 hours. Yep, you all have 2 hours right now. And then you've got 4 hours each in the jar. So you have 2 applications each.
All right. Well, it seems like there's no time to be wasting time.
Yeah, let's move it along.
Astara, who seems to have struck up a nice friendship with Eloise, makes her way back over toward Flame and goes to pick up his tail for a second and then just like pets it a little bit and sets it back down. And she just tromps on down the path by herself with one hand on her hatchet. Are you all in your normal marching order?
Yeah, Epiphany is probably somewhere up front.
Okay. Epiphany and Finnick, roll a survival check to get back the way you've come. We'll say with advantage, whoever wants to roll it.
Oh, she's been better so far. Then it goes
Great.
like, I'll keep track of the map.
All right. That is 19.
Nice. Okay. Well, Finnick's got his configuration working, and he's making markings on the map. The corrections that Eldwin made for him are making lots of sense. So, Finnick, you're feeling pretty good about it, and you are mapping away as Epiphany flawlessly leads you all back down this little trail to the main trail, takes the right turn to head down into the deeper thickening forest toward the summer crag. The sunlight gilding the edges of the leaves at the top of this deep shadowed canopy, and you all are back amongst the brambles. Kian, are you with us just with your camera off?
She had to step away for like 2 seconds.
Cool, that's totally fine. Just checking in. Back amongst the brambles and the giant tree trunks, is there anything that anybody has on their mind to do or look for, say, or anything on the way down?
Epiphany is just going to be really kind of taking stock, looking for any other movement from creatures not within the party.
Right. Okay. Roll perception or investigation, Epiphany.
That is 16.
Okay. You see that you are being watched by many creatures and plants within the forest. There are some squirrel-like creatures that you've noticed before. It seems like they may or may not have maybe soft wings folded up on them or something like that. They seem to have some extra skin, but otherwise are mostly squirrel-like. Their tails are not fluffy though, so they look a little bit rat-like also. But they move around in the trees. They're watching you very carefully, and that seems to be that maybe these were the things that y'all had heard flapping that weren't birds, if indeed the extra skin that you can see is wings. You also can see that a lot of those plants that have eyes in them are, blinking wide and really looking and staring at all of you as you pass. You are also quite watchful of bees. With your 19, I will say that you also are able to sort of divert around a swarm of bees and use enough care and caution so that you don't end up getting attacked by them. These are just a few of the things as you're passing through this thickening, deepening forest. And also, I will have you, Flickering Flame, roll a perception check.
So Epiphany will just mention, hey, Kian, be on the lookout for this offering, okay?
Sooner the better.
I got a 10 on that, by the way, Bree.
Thank you. Yeah, am I still skipping and jumping?
Yeah,
And freezing?
I don't think it's as bad as it was, but
I guess this is just how it is today. It's weird. There's nothing wrong with our data. We moved to the machinery. We disconnected, reconnected. Anyway, onward.
While all this is happening, I don't know whether you're responding at all, Keen, but I am just inundating you with questions about the magics involved in you having just shapeshifted. Have like my notebook out, scribbling away.
Yeah.
Kian?
Oh, what questions are you asking?
Initially, they're in a flurry, but like I will go back through them all with you with time. But it's like, what magic is that? Have you ever done it before? Why were you so startled when it ended? How does one go about doing this?
Well, kind of something I just kind of figured out how to do. It's fairly easy, actually. You just kind of think about what you want to become, and then it happens. But it seems to only last so long as I can tell so far. Maybe if you just think about being a bug or something, it can happen to you too. I'm not quite sure. It seemed to flow through me the way that my spells do when I cast and stuff like that. If that helps, I'm sorry. I don't do the whole note.
Is it other things? Is it just a spider? Could you turn into a bear?
No, I don't. Not right now. I imagine that someday I might be powerful enough, like the druids at that ceremony we were at. But right now it's mostly less scary things, I guess you could say.
Fascinating.
I'd love to talk about more, but I got to be.
Spiders are terrifying.
I guess if they're like venomous or something.
What? You mean always?
I think we have different groups of knowledge, friend. I'd love to sit down and compare notes sometime, but right now I got to have a couple other conversations and hunting missions. But stay curious. I do enjoy talking to you. And I think has heard.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I have two more things I want to do. I want to really quick ask Astara if she's ever ridden like a horse or anything, like if she knows how to do that.
I've ridden ponies before and mules, but never a big horse. Those are usually for, grown-ups.
That makes sense. Okay. Thanks. Just
Unless
curious.
some of the kids who train for fighting and for mostly just for fighting, really. Some of the little kids who train for fighting, they learn how to ride big horses when they're little.
Did you train for something specific as well?
I mostly train in just the little bits of magic arcana that our village people are able to provide, and just really how to help my dads with their business, because we get a lot of work. They're tailors, and so people bring them their clothes to sew, and so I know how to do a lot of sewing and a little bit of magic, but my magic is bigger than how much knowledge I have, and so it's getting too big for my knowledge now.
I'd love to help catch you up on some of the understanding part at some point, but I'm afraid we don't have time right now.
I've been practicing my light symbol that Feely was teaching me, but
Oh,
I don't quite have it yet.
I'd love to see it.
Was it light?
Yeah.
It was light, right?
Dancing lights.
Dancing lights. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so Astara, you asked her about that. What else did you want to do?
Oh, I think that Epiphany had started a conversation with me. I didn't want to leave her hanging there. About hunting, I guess.
Yes, that's right. Yep. Epiphany, what were you saying to Kian?
Just to keep an eye out for whatever creature it is that we're going to offer. Epiphany is obviously like uncomfortable with the whole idea. She is more into making friends with things for sure, but it seems like a requirement. So she's just making sure that Kian is on the lookout for the right offering.
Did I notice anyone else who was interested in this hunting mission, or is it just me?
Oh,
Flame
Rex is
Flame
definitely.
says, I
Roll an
specialize in
insight check,
birds, fish, and mice.
Birds, fish. Nice. All right. Okay, that's only a 10, so I don't know your innermost thoughts.
No, but you can definitely tell that Flame has expressed verbally interest in the hunt. And as soon as Epiphany says, I guess be keeping a lookout for this offering that we're going to make, Wex kind of like perks up and starts like bopping around next to you, doing his Wexlarn thing and getting excited. And, been asking you.
And this is a educational journey.
Notebook in hand. And Epiphany, as this is bothering you, and you are kind of, walking along with your companions, what does she think or feel, or does she say anything else or do anything else about it?
I think she's probably just looking around and kind of looking at all the different creatures and like feeling a little bit sad probably, but understanding that, we obviously have to get home and we made this promise to help Astara. So, but also kind of like not wanting to see anything that may qualify. She's pretty sure these weird flying rat squirrels probably aren't the ideal offering.
Flying rat squirrels, right? Totally. Okay, Flame, with your 10 of perception, thank you for sharing that, Epiphany. Flame, with your 10 of perception, you can hear the music just like everyone else can periodically. As you all get back to the main trail that you were on, you can kind of hear that lilting sound, not even lilting, it's really peppy music, but it's just barely audible towards you guys on the air as you're walking down the path, and then it cuts off or it'll drift away and drift back in a little bit. But
Flame
even
will
with your trained musician's ear.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was
Okay,
going to say, before that, I was going to say he would start humming it and try to pick it out.
Yeah, it does. It starts getting caught in your head, these different little tunes. You're starting to hear repeats of tunes that you heard already. But even with your trained musician's ear, you can't really tell exactly what instruments it is or how many or exactly where it's coming from. You can tell it's coming from on down the path a ways, probably the Summer Crag, but it's just hard to tell. But go ahead and roll a performance check to see how well you pick up this tune, or at least musical type.
17. Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. No, I did it right. Sorry, I thought I had advantage still on, but that was my last roll. 17.
Good job. All right. So you all hear Flame as he kind of is picking out sort of a semblance of this tune that keeps wafting up from down the trail. He manages to sort of replicate some of it, it seems like. But no one can hear it all that well. Kian, since you have... I was going to say, since you have Wex helping you with your hunt, you could roll your perception or investigation with advantage. But as I said Wex's name, I thought maybe that would give you disadvantage, actually. So we'll just have you give a straight roll for now.
All right, and that's a look-and roll, you said?
Looking, yep. Perception or investigation. Roll for looking.
All right, 16.
All right. With your 16, you do notice that you are tracking, or at least sharing tracks with something like smaller than the bear and the wolf, but not as small as the not as small as like a rabbit or something like that. You notice as you're walking along the tracks of something like a badger, maybe, or something like that. Yeah, badger, big beaver. Who
Okay.
knows?
Yeah, I would point out the tracks to Wex and be like, this is gonna be our guy. Let's follow these.
All right,
Well,
Wex.
like sketching the tracks and stuff like that.
Yep. Okay. You all head off into the brambles. This is very difficult terrain, where you see the tracks leave the trail. They head off into the thorns and the branches, and roll a survival check. Wex, I want you to roll. I'd like you to roll first a wisdom check and see how well you do at like chilling quietly in hunter mode.
11.
Okay. You can somewhat understand that being quiet is what's supposed to happen, and you're kind of trying. But probably what's most important to you is asking questions like usual. So you do occasionally keep popping out questions here and there. As a result, I'm going to not give advantage on the survival check to track the badger or whatever it is accurately.
So I think that the thing we want to be hunting goes off the trail a little. Are you guys comfortable coming with, or do you feel more comfortable waiting here for a minute?
Flame says, I will come with you.
I think it's in everybody's interest if I stay here.
Yeah, I'll stay here too and watch the path, make sure nothing else is coming up.
I don't want to go hunting either.
Yeah, not really my bag. I'll stay here.
All right, Flame, Kian, and Wex go creeping off into the brush, and Flame, with your help, I will let Kian roll survival with advantage. Wex, with your 11, you're not damaging the situation too badly. Oh, Nikki. How'd we do?
With advantage, I got a 13 survival.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, you are able to effectively continue following the tracks of this badger, wombat, whatever it is, creature. You can tell that it's probably about a 30-pound creature, 35-pound creature. And it is not moving super fast. And after a period of time, everybody roll a perception check.
The three of us or everyone?
No, the three of you. Sorry.
Oh, 3. I'm really taking notes.
I got a 13. What did you get, Flame?
18.
18. So,
Okay.
Flame, you hear it right before you smell it. It's rustling around. You see its bulky form come out. It kind of looks like a badger, but it actually looks a bit more terrifying than that. It's spiny like a porcupine. It's got a large tail that actually ends in two very, very large spikes. It has kind of like a rodent-like face and big ears, but it is about 30 pounds and sort of like pear-shaped and porcupine-y. And then it has really, really large paws and claws, like the ROUS is from Princess Bride. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Markings are sharp and dark on gray. So it's like a gray creature with like sharp, dark, black, brown, whatever, hard to tell. Markings sort of around the eyes, kind of like a raccoon. And then like a few stripes down the neck fading into this like spiny exterior. You see it. It does not apparently see you.
Okay.
Flame, you hear it and smell it and see it first. How do you alert your hunting party?
I'll say I'll like signal to them like. Shh.
Flame's tail comes up.
Whispering to them. Yeah. And then I'll take out my hand crossbow and take a shot at it with that.
All right. Since you are basically firing with surprise, that is similar to cover, so I'm going to let you shoot with advantage.
Okay. Ooh, 9.
All right, you miss it, alerting it to your presence, and it rushes off with remarkable stealth into the undergrowth. You all roll a perception check, hunting party, real quick.
That's a crit fail.
Whoops. I had advantage on again.
Oh, that's okay. Just take the first one.
15.
Not one of you can see where it went.
I got a 21.
Oh, good. Okay, so you do see where it went, Kian. You can see where it went. It's going very fast. Are you going after it or are you shooting?
Oh, I'm running. Yeah.
Okay, you run through the undergrowth after it, taking, during the course of this crashing through the thing adventure, taking 4 points of piercing damage from the long thorns as they stick into your face and hands.
Oh my God, what's happening? Are we being chased?
No, but the hunt is afoot. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'll take off after too.
All right, cut to the rest of the party. Meanwhile, back at the path, Epiphany, Feely, Finnick, and Astara waiting on the path. It's kind of getting buggy and humid down here. It feels a little damp and close when you're not moving. Starts to get a little, you can almost feel like the coolness is starting to fade, like the 2 hours is coming close to being up. It's still there, but you can almost begin to like start to feel, before this there was like zero discomfort about anything, you know, and now you can kind of start to feel like that sense of, you know, itchy annoyance at the bugs and stuff like that, just little bits. But I will have everyone make a perception roll as that music is drifting up the path towards you a couple different times.
I got a 6.
Okay, we got a 12 and a 6.
And a 15.
Astara has a 6. And Epiphany?
15.
Is a 15. All right, Epiphany, standing in the path and listening to this music as it kind of drifts by, you realize that it isn't that the music is sort of like fading in and out or that the shifting wind is carrying the sound like you had previously thought it might be the case, because there really is no wind. And the music doesn't seem to be changing in distance. What you realize it is that it's actually, you can hear it and then you can't hear it anymore, but it's still going. Like you notice that the same tune is still going. It just, you being able to hear it, it like is there and then it goes away. Like almost as if it had, you know, been shut off or shut behind something or something like that.
Okay.
Perhaps like a door was opening
And would I notice
to a place where there was music and then closing it.
Okay. Okay.
And would you notice what?
Oh, never mind. You answered my question.
Okay. Okay. So, time seems to stretch out a little bit though, as it seems like they were following some pretty fresh tracks, and it seems like it's taking maybe a little bit longer than it should, and you're really starting to feel like the 2-hour ointment is starting to wear off. Who took the jar of ointment from Elia? Feely? It was you, Feely?
Oh, yeah, I think it would either be Feely or Epiphany, depending on if Epiphany would have wanted it.
Okay, so you all have it with you at the path.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you guys feel a little bit maybe stressed out or cold or something?
Or like a little bit annoyed about how muggy and buggy it is.
Yeah, I think maybe our ointment is wearing off a bit. Should we reapply? I would hate for it to get, out of control.
Yeah, how long has it been? Probably a couple of hours now.
Roll an insight check, Finnick.
Certainly feels that way.
14.
Yeah, with your 14, you can tell that it's been somewhere between like an hour and 3/4 to 2 hours. It's definitely been, you're pretty sure it's definitely been over an hour and a half and coming down to it. And you can also feel it wearing off. Astara, her chin begins to tremble and she starts crying, just like big gushy tears. And she's like, they should never have gone. What if they don't make it back? What if they don't make it back in time? What if they don't make it back? And you realize,
it's fine. It's really, truly fine. Come here, dear. And they'll like open the jar of ointment and just like try and like rub some on her real quick.
Yeah, you put some on her and it actually works right away. You rub it in. She
big breath. Big breath. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, it's the crabbiness. I think we should all put this on.
Oh, I hadn't had it before. That was bad.
We must be pretty close. I think I can hear music, like maybe someone's coming in and out of somewhere, and that's why it gets a bit louder sometimes. I think we're awfully close to somewhere important.
I hear the music too. I wish it wouldn't keep stopping. It's kind of annoying, but nothing is annoying now. I like that stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if we're experiencing this, then a bit worried about our friends out there. Theirs is going to be coming up pretty soon, and a hunting party that wants to strangle each other doesn't sound like a great idea.
And on that note, we'll return to our hunting party, who is Kian crashing through the underbrush, sprinting. I'll have you roll an athletics check to catch up with this, whatever the heck it is. Porcupine badger.
That was a whopping 8.
Badupine. Oh, Lord. Well, fortunately, it isn't as fast as you. So even with your 8, you're not at your best. You're not going your fastest. It's really hard to get through this undergrowth, but you are managing to keep the creature in your sight. If you stop long enough to arm a weapon, it's likely you will lose the creature. You're not doing well enough with an 8 to have extra room. Do you want to fire with disadvantage while you're moving, or do you want to try and gain more ground?
The only ranged weapon I have is a rock, so I think I'm just gonna go try to tackle this guy.
All right. Putting on as much of a burst of speed as you possibly can. I'll have you roll another athletics check for me.
19.
Yeah.
All right. Whoo! With that 19, you're barely keeping up with it. You run and you run. You're taking damage left and right from this stuff, the brambles and the thorns. Oh, you get 3 more points of piercing damage to your body as you're crashing through the underbrush. You launch yourself through the air to tackle this creature, and it is covered in porcupine spines. So I'm going to have you, what is it for a grapple? It's an athletics versus athletics or acrobatics, we said. So I'm going to have you roll a third athletics check for me here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to beat a very high number, is what I will say. Well, go ahead.
I'm just the dumbest, wisest character.
I know, it's so cute. I love it.
I did get a 16 though, so I'm hugging those spines, hopefully.
Oh my God, you are.
Hugging
You
them
absolutely
good.
are hugging. You all, okay, so Wex and Flame, keeping Kian in your sights, you all come upon the scene as Kian throws his body on top of and all around this badupine, and its tail is whipping around. The tail comes around and stabs stabs one of those 2 big spines into your back, Kian, as you're clutching onto it, as well as the stuff on your front. You are going to be taking currently 4 more points of piercing damage as you hang on to this creature. It's you managed to get it from the correct angle so that a lot of the spines are laying down underneath of you, but that tail spine just keeps poking into you. What are you 2 gonna do, Wex and Flame?
I'll probably immediately do cure wounds on Kian.
Okie doke. You walk up, you strum your guitar a couple of times, and the sound emanates forth with these waves of just like healing energy that just as the sound passes through your body, you can feel your poke wounds closing up. You can just feel like your hit points returning. Go ahead and roll those hit points, Flame.
Okay, a second. Remind me what the +1 on the loot is. Where do I apply that?
This would be a good. Nope, that would be if you're making a spell attack, then your +1 would count, or a performance check, then your +1 would count.
It would work in a damage roll situation as well.
Yep, but not for healing.
Okay.
Maybe it should, though. Let's house rule that it goes to healing. Why would it go for damage and not healing? That should go to healing, too. I'm calling it.
So where's my
Add your plus
spell
one.
modifier?
Oh, your spell attack modifier?
It's my charisma modifier, right?
Yes.
Let's do.
And proficiency, I would assume.
5.
See,
I don't think the proficiency counts for like damage or healing. I think
Healing.
we only count the
No.
charisma.
Yeah,
Oh, it
no,
said
no
one-
proficiency.
It said 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay. So 5.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 5.
So a
'cause 2
D8
is
plus
my-
your charisma mod plus 1.
plus
And
1,
I-
so that'd be 6.
Oh, nice. I'm like, fine.
I don't want to be a total like Debbie Downer, but Cure Wounds is a touch spell.
You have to kick me.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I'll rush over and thank you.
He
I'll
has
rush
that
over and
swooping
like
tail.
swooping tail as I'm strumming.
Mhm. And in that you are rushing through the undergrowth, you are also going to take 4 points of piercing damage as you do. Wexlarn. Uh-oh, everyone froze. Does that mean that I froze for everyone?
There she is.
It does. I look
Hey.
cute.
Oh,
Heyo.
Oh, okay.
And we're back. Wexlarn. Okay. How are you moving through the forest? Through all of this thick undergrowth?
As quickly as I can, but I am also quite a bit slower than everybody else, I believe. I only have a 25 speed, so I have probably fallen behind to some degree.
Okay.
So I'm going to be like huffing and puffing when I get there because I would have been like busting my ass to try to keep up.
Great. I will have you roll an athletics check as well. Being as you're little.
I rolled an 8, but that's a 7.
Okay. You also are going to take 3 points of piercing damage as you make your way through the forest. But you arrive to find Kian wrapped around this creature, holding on for dear life as it stabs him in the back repeatedly with its tail. Flame has swished his tail across as he's playing the guitar, which doesn't make sense for a second until you see Kian heave a sigh of relief and say thank you over his shoulder. What are you doing?
I think I'll probably just sit a little bit off to the side and like start drawing what's happening real quick and being like, this is the most curious hunting strategy that I've ever seen.
All right, and Kian, we're kind of to your like turn, as it were. What are you doing next now that you've got the thing? Kato.
My initial thought was like to try to make him more vulnerable to everyone else, but no one else has. I guess I know Flame has taken a shot. So someday I'll take a damage spell, but I will. No, I was gonna befriend it, but that seems very cruel because I do intend to kill this guy. So, can I like roll over so he's on top of me instead? So that one, maybe my back is protected, and two, maybe his underbelly is like more vulnerable if somebody wants to shoot or throw something at him.
Sure, give it a go with that wrestle. We'll do another athletics check opposed, so that you can see if you can flip it over without losing control of it. Feely, I cannot get over your hair and your earrings, and you're so beautiful. I love it. Okay, opposed athletics.
Don't distract me like that.
I'm sorry. Sometimes your partner's really pretty and you just have to deal with that. That's just the way it goes. Happens to me all the time.
Yo. Me too.
So, what'd you
Oh,
get?
cute. I got a 13.
We are all super cute. It's true. Okay, 13, you lose your grip on the creature, and as you attempt to flip it over, and instead you end up letting go of it, and it charges straight for you, Flame.
I'm so sorry.
Doing this funny thing. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a skunk spray, but it like hops its butt up and like does this little handstand thing, just like whipping the spines of its tail out at you. Does a 17 hit you, Flame?
My armor class is 12, so yeah.
So yes, that is going to hit you for sure. Okay. Well, you're only going to take 3 piercing damage from it. You lucked out. What are you doing?
Well, I guess I'm going to try to stab this thing with my rapier. And then I will give Bardic inspiration to Wex.
To take really good notes.
Alrighty.
Yeah, maybe I should give it to Keith.
No, you said it, you did it.
Oh, damn it. I just
Okay, so
figured he was going to
you
attack
play
us.
one last little riff on the guitar. One last little riff on the guitar before you throw it over your shoulder to give Wex some bardic inspo, and then whip out your rapier, and you can
And I'm going to
go
try
ahead.
to stab it like at a low angle so to make sure I don't accidentally stab Kian with it. Or I know I guess it's not on Kian anymore. Never mind. I'm just going to slash at it.
It is not on Kian anymore, but it hasn't gone very far from Kian. So I appreciate that you're mentioning you're being careful. Roll to hit.
13.
All right, 13 hits. Roll for damage.
4 piercing.
Alrighty. You get it. It doesn't quite take it off of its feet, but you can tell that you've, done it quite a bit of damage. It doesn't seem to be super like. It kind of just keeps coming, but you can certainly tell that you've done it some damage. It's bleeding now from some of its spines and stuff like that. Wex, what are you doing?
All right. I'll set my notebook and pencil down finally, and like, I don't feel like this is going right, and I'll pull out my crossbow and
Even
give
after being inspired?
yeah, inspired too.
All right, roll to hit.
That is a 14.
14 hits.
Ooh, and max damage for me. That's 10 points of damage.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
That crossbow bolt flies true. Thunk, you take it down. It's instantaneous. It goes from a little bit hurt to just like bolt through the head and done on the ground. As y'all are collecting the...
Good show, Wex.
That's my first kill, I think. Other than that pixie, I guess. This is my first time hunting, though. I can't. Is that how you say it? I have
No.
Probably. Oh, no?
I've never heard that before.
You're the wordy one.
This happens, and Wex, I'm going to have you roll a Constitution save.
$15.
Okay. You feel like a surge of like victorious, triumphant violence come over you a little bit, where you're kind of like, I killed something, and you kind of want to like kill everything else, but you like shake it off. It passes a little bit, and you realize that cream must be wearing off.
Did any of us bring any of that stuff that we were putting on? Because it's wearing off.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Should we?
Well, let's head back.
Let's take your time. Don't get too hurt by those spikes and the bushes and such. But we should probably be heading back. I think Epiphany or Feely, one of them probably has it.
All right. So you all collect your offering for the Bear King. The spines are much less terrifying when they're all just kind of laying down against one another. The creature seems to be at peace. It was healthy. You don't see any other members of its species around. So it seems to be, kind of an ideal situation as far as if you've got to kill something. And you make your way back toward the path. Everybody make an athletics check as you get through these brambles on your way back to your friends.
Oh, shit.
Your specialty.
Oh,
it was
God.
1, but it's a -1, so that's a 0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got a natural 1 with like +2 added, so...
How did you both get natural ones?
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
I'm going to have each of you roll a d4 about this.
I'm gonna drag
Isn't
back
longer
3
than a sign.
carcasses. Like
2.
2 as well.
Okay, you're each going to take 4 piercing damage as you stumble through these brambles. For whatever reason, it got way worse. It's just real bad. You're not good at it. And you're both going to be taking so long that you're going to have to each roll an extra Constitution saving throw against the regional effect, the emotional effect. Kian, what did you get for your athletics check?
a 12, which I wasn't thrilled about, but now
I know, totally, right? For sure.
Well, I got a 7 for my
making your way
Constitution.
through, you only take 3 more. Okay. Kian, making your way through the brambles, you take 3 more points of piercing damage, just kind of scraping by. You're doing so much, though, of carrying the load of this kill and stuff like that, that you almost kind of don't notice it. It's just like, oh yeah, another scratch, whatever. Wex, what did you get for your Constitution save?
17. 17?
Okay. Wex, you're just pushing through. You feel frustrated and, whatever, all kinds of emotions, but it's you're getting scratched up so badly that it all just kind of gets channeled into that. You're just like, and so that helps. Flame, however, you become overwhelmingly embarrassed about what kind of a cat doesn't know how to move through the forest. You're getting hurt so much and you're barely able to make it back to the path. You feel like you've completely lost touch with yourself and your soul and your roots and your origin. And it really is it's incredibly depressing. You feel so incredibly depressed that you just roll a wisdom save.
$12.
Okay. Flame, your Artax in the swamps of sadness, man. You can go no further. You sit down.
I give up.
You got to sit down. And unfortunately, everyone, our internet is freezing so often that I am going to have to cut us short.
Well, I'm trapped in the swamp of sadness.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. You've sat down in the middle of the brambles and you can go no further. And that is where we will pick up next week with better internet. My apologies for the technical difficulties this week. Thanks for sticking with us as long as you have. Tomorrow morning, I will be posting a recap of this episode for patrons only on Patreon. So head straight to patreon.com/themythologue and subscribe at any level for access to that content and other more fun content to come. Also follow us on social medias for free at the Mythologue D&D on Instagram and Twitter alike. Give us a subscribe. Love us in every way. We love you in every way. We'll see you Monday.